There's one thing you can do early on with a woman that will either kill attraction instantly or send it through the roof. It's not what you say or how you look, it's how you hug her. Most men give a weak, forgettable hug that communicates nothing. I'm Sophia Joy, and today we're talking about what a hug actually does inside a woman's nervous system. Physical touch activates the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It lowers stress and increases trust. In simple terms, her body is asking, "Do I feel safe here?" before her mind asks, "Do I like him?" A great hug bypasses all the talking and goes straight to her body's assessment of your confidence and stability. In those few seconds, her nervous system decides safe or not safe, confident or unsure, grounded or unstable. And that's why this matters so much. Let's dive in. Let me tell you a story. A client of mine, let's call him Daniel, came to me confused. He was intelligent, kind, well-groomed, financially stable. He kept getting second dates, but rarely third ones. Women described him as sweet and nice, but they didn't feel the spark. After digging deeper, we discovered something subtle. At the end of every date, he gave what I call the disappearing hug. He would lean in halfway, lightly tap her back, barely make chest contact, and then quickly pull away as if he'd touched a hot stove. His body language screamed, "I'm not sure I'm allowed to be here." We worked on one thing, the hug. Not flirting lines, not wardrobe, not texting strategy, just presence in that final embrace. 2 months later, he told me something fascinating. He said, "The way women look at me after the hug is different. It's softer. It lingers." Nothing else had changed, but everything had changed. So let's break this down clearly. There are 3 types of hugs women commonly experience from men. Each one sends a powerful emotional message. The first is the weak hug. This is the hug that kills attraction instantly. It's hesitant. Arms barely wrap around her. Your body stays distant. There's little to no chest contact. You might give a quick pat, almost like she's a coworker at an office holiday party. It's over before it begins. What does her body register? Uncertainty, hesitation, a lack of confidence. It can even feel like you're afraid of her. And when a man feels unsure of himself physically, it creates a subtle imbalance. She doesn't feel led. She doesn't feel held. She feels neutral. Or worse, she feels like she's hugging a brother. Attraction needs polarity. It needs contrast, not dominance, not control, but grounded masculine presence. A weak hug dissolves that polarity. Now the second type, the aggressive hug. This is the overcorrection, too tight, too forceful, lifting her without warning, holding too long, hands wandering where they shouldn't. This kind of hug floods her nervous system, but not in a good way. Her body asks, does he respect boundaries? Does he read cues? Is this about connection? Or is this about him taking something? Aggression is not masculinity. Aggression is insecurity dressed up as dominance, and women feel the difference immediately. Now, let's talk about the third type, the masculine hug. And when I say masculine, I do not mean macho. I do not mean overpowering. I mean grounded, calm, certain. This hug is firm but not crushing. Your arms wrap fully around her. You pull her gently but clearly into your chest. There is real contact, not A-frame shoulders touching while your hips stay a mile apart. You are steady. Your feet are planted. You breathe. You hold her for about 2 to 4 seconds, long enough for her body to register safety, short enough to leave her wanting just a little more. And then you release first. Calmly, not nervously, not abruptly. What does she feel? I feel safe. I feel held. I feel chosen in this moment. And safety is the gateway to desire. Now I want to pause here and ask you something. When you hug a woman, are you thinking about how you feel or how she feels? Most men focus on their own anxiety. Am I doing this right? Is this weird? Should I pull away? That internal noise makes your body tense, and tension is contagious. She feels it. One simple exercise you can practice starting today is this: grounding before contact. Before you hug her, take one slow breath. Feel your feet in your shoes. Relax your shoulders. Drop them slightly. This small shift changes your entire physical energy. It communicates calm. Let's go step by step into the perfect hug. First, commit. No awkward dance, no half step in, half step out. When the moment calls for it, step toward her intentionally. Open your arms clearly. Leadership in small moments builds attraction in big ones. Second, pull her in gently but decisively. Your arms go under hers. One hand rests between her shoulder blades, the other on her mid-back. Not lower, not wandering, just steady. That mid-back placement feels protective without being sexual. Third, apply firm pressure. Think of holding something valuable, secure, but not suffocating. If she feels like she could float away, it's too loose. If she can't breathe, it's too tight. Fourth, be grounded. Don't sway like you're unsure. Stability in your body signals emotional stability. Studies in nonverbal communication consistently show that posture and stillness are associated with confidence and perceived competence. Fifth, breathe. If you hold your breath, your body stiffens. When you breathe normally, she subconsciously mirrors your calm. Sixth, hold for 2 to 4 seconds. This is long enough for oxytocin to begin its subtle work, long enough for her body to say, ah, but not so long that she wonders when it will end. Seventh, release first, gently. You can even let your hands lightly slide down her arms as you step back. Make eye contact. Smile slowly. That transition from contact to connection is powerful. And here's something many men overlook. When you are that close, she notices everything: your scent, your skin, your grooming. Attraction is multisensory. It's not about being pretty, it's about signaling self-respect. When a man takes care of himself, it communicates that he values himself and, by extension, will value her. Now I want you to imagine something. You greet her at the start of a date with that grounded hug. She relaxes instantly. Throughout the evening, there is an underlying sense of comfort. At the end of the night, you hug her again. Same firmness, same calm presence. As she walks away, her body still remembers the feeling of your arms around her. She may not consciously think, that was a perfect hug, but she will think, there's something about him. In part 2, we're going deeper. I'm going to show you exactly when to use this hug, the subtle mistakes that instantly push you into the friend zone, how to read whether she actually wants physical contact, and the advanced nuances that separate a decent hug from an unforgettable one. And we'll talk about how to transition from that hug into real chemistry that builds beyond the moment. Now let's go deeper, because knowing how to hug her is one thing. Knowing when and why to hug her is what separates average from unforgettable. Timing is everything. A masculine hug at the wrong moment feels forced. The same hug at the right moment feels electric. So when should you use it? The first moment is the greeting. The first 10 seconds of seeing her set the emotional tone for the entire interaction. Psychologists call this the primacy effect. Our brains weigh first impressions heavily. If the first physical contact feels confident and warm, she relaxes faster. Her guard lowers. The date flows more naturally. But here's what most men do. They wave, or they give that awkward half hug while holding their phone, or worse, they freeze. Instead, when you see her, pause for a split second, smile, step in, and open your arms like it's the most natural thing in the world. That certainty makes her feel chosen, not questioned. The second moment is the goodbye. This is the imprint moment. The recency effect in psychology tells us we remember the last emotional moment of an experience very vividly. The hug at the end of the date often becomes the emotional bookmark. I once worked with a man named Eric who couldn't understand why women kept saying, "I'll let you know," after dates. We realized that at the end of every date, he would suddenly become anxious about whether to go for a kiss. That anxiety would show up in his body. His goodbye hug became stiff and rushed because he was in his head. When he stopped trying to get something and focused on giving a grounded hug instead, something shifted. Women began lingering. Some initiated a second hug. A few even initiated the kiss themselves. Why? Because safety breeds desire. Let me say that again. Safety breeds desire. When a woman feels emotionally and physically safe with you, her nervous system relaxes. And when her nervous system relaxes, attraction can grow. Without safety, attraction feels risky. And women are biologically wired to be more risk-aware in physical interactions. That's not weakness. That's evolutionary survival programming. Now let's talk about mid-date hugs. These are powerful, but underused. If something genuinely funny happens, if she shares something vulnerable, if you're celebrating a small win, like she just got good news, sometimes you can simply look at her, smile, and say softly, "Come here," then pull her in. That unexpected but grounded physical affection can create a surge of connection, but only if the vibe is already warm. This is where emotional intelligence matters. You don't force it. You feel it. And this brings us to reading her cues. Many men are afraid to initiate physical contact because they don't want to cross boundaries. That's good. Respect is attractive, but confidence is also attractive. So how do you balance both? Look for openness. Is she standing close to you? Is she facing you directly? Does she make sustained eye contact? Does she lightly touch your arm during conversation? These are green lights. Her body is saying, "I'm comfortable." If she's angled away, stepping back, avoiding eye contact, crossing her arms tightly, slow down. Build more comfort first. Here's a practical exercise for you. The next time you're talking to a woman, pay attention to distance. There's something called proxemics in psychology, the study of personal space. When someone voluntarily moves into your intimate space, it's a sign of trust. Notice if she closes the gap between you. That's often your window. Now, let's talk about common mistakes that instantly dilute attraction. The back pat. This is the ultimate friend zone signal. Patting her back like she just scored a goal in a soccer game kills polarity. If you catch yourself doing it, stop. The A-frame hug, shoulders touching, hips far apart. It looks like you're afraid of her body. Attraction needs a little closeness, not grinding, just natural alignment. The limp arms. If your arms just hang there, she feels the emotional equivalent. Limp energy. Looking over her shoulder. If your eyes are scanning the room while hugging her, she feels unimportant. In that moment, she wants to feel like she's the only woman in the room, even if just for 3 seconds. And now I'm going to address something that might challenge you a little. Some men ask, "Can I hug you?" in moments where it's obvious a hug is appropriate. The intention is respectful, but sometimes the question itself communicates uncertainty. However, and this is important, if you genuinely are unsure whether she's comfortable with physical contact, asking is absolutely the right move. Consent and comfort always come first. The difference is this: asking from insecurity versus asking from respect. If you say it softly and confidently, "Can I give you a hug?" while maintaining eye contact and relaxed posture, that can still feel grounded. It's not the words, it's the energy behind them. Now let's talk about the deeper layer. What happens inside her body during a hug? When the hug is firm and calm, her vagus nerve, the nerve responsible for regulating relaxation, activates. Her heart rate can slow slightly. Her breathing can synchronize with yours. This co-regulation is powerful. It's why a child calms down in a parent's arms. It's why we instinctively hug someone who is crying. You become, for a few seconds, a stabilizing force. And here's the secret most men miss. Women are not just attracted to strength. They are attracted to contained strength. Contained strength means you could squeeze tighter, but you don't. You could overpower, but you choose not to. That quiet restraint feels safe and masculine at the same time. Let me give you a storytelling example. Imagine two men hugging the same woman after a date. Man A hugs loosely, barely touching her. She walks away thinking, "He's nice." Man B hugs firmly, grounded, warm. She feels her body relax. As he releases, he looks into her eyes for a moment longer than necessary and smiles slowly. She walks away, replaying that moment in her head while brushing her teeth. The difference? Presence. Presence is felt in stillness. Not in talking, not in proving, in stillness. So here's an exercise I want you to try this week, even outside of dating. Practice hugging with intention in your everyday life. Hug a friend. Hug a family member. Focus on grounding your feet, relaxing your shoulders, applying firm, steady pressure, holding for 3 seconds, releasing calmly. Train your nervous system to be comfortable with physical presence. The more natural it feels to you, the more natural it will feel to her. And now, let's address something subtle but powerful: the transition after the hug. Many men ruin a perfect hug by immediately breaking eye contact, looking down, or making a nervous joke. Don't fill the silence. After you release, hold eye contact for 1 second longer than usual. Smile softly. Let there be a micro pause. That pause creates tension, the good kind. Tension is not created by lines, it's created by unspoken energy. If you've ever wondered why some men don't say much but women gravitate toward them, it's because they're comfortable in that silence. They don't rush to escape intimacy. And here's something important. A hug is not about manipulation. It's not about technique in a robotic way. If you approach this like a trick, women will feel that too. It's about embodying confidence in your body. Confidence is not loud. It's not forceful. It's relaxed certainty. Now I want to ask you something personal. When you hug a woman, are you afraid of rejection? Afraid she won't reciprocate? Afraid you'll look foolish? That fear makes your muscles tighten. It makes you hesitate. And hesitation communicates doubt. One mindset shift can change everything. You are not asking for approval. You are offering connection. There's a big difference. When you offer connection from a grounded place, whether she accepts or not, does not shake you. That emotional stability is deeply attractive. In part 3, we're going even deeper. We're going to talk about how a hug can shift you from nice guy to romantic interest, how to avoid slipping into the brother vibe, how scent, posture, and micro movements amplify attraction during physical contact, and how to build chemistry after the hug so the connection continues to grow long after you part ways. Because a hug may open the door, but what you do next determines whether she walks through it.